Hello! Oh my god, we're live on the internet. Hello, people. What is up? Welcome to, Let's Build a Campaign setting. That's the voice, and I'm sticking to it. That's the voice of the Big Sad Man. The Big Sad Man is sounding like this. What's up? I'm Xander. You might know me as the DM and a resident, you know what? I was gonna try to think of something witty, but as is usually how I work, I just stutter for a minute and I think of nothing. So what's up, guys? I'm Xander, your local NYU bursar. That's the first thing that came to my head. I'm sticking with it. And also we got some other friends in here. Friends, why don't you just say hi?
Hello.
Hi.
They sound so enthused. I love the enthusiasm.
Mr. Hunter, and I started drawing Rathalos, and I was like, okay. I was concentrating on drawing a terrible Rathalos.
Oh my goodness. Hello chat. Oh my god. I often don't look at the chat when I'm running Rolling with Remix, but for this I'm looking at the chat. All these lovely people. Hello Superior Iron Spider. Hello Sistoria. Hello. I'm gonna say hello to everyone. It's gonna be great. Oh god, this is the color of this username is just a little bit lighter than the color of my chat background, so I'm trying to highlight. Okay, that's Marithi Retina? Oh, I definitely mispronounced that. I'm so sorry. But hello, Azriel as it gets.
Classic.
Classic. And then a clever name or something, dude. Tasty. Hello. If you couldn't tell by their extreme amounts of enthusiasm and optimism, I am joined by Juno and Atwas. Atwas is popping in to say hi.
Hi.
And
yeah,
be here.
optimism.
Hello.
Sure.
I think I'm the peppiest person here, and it's not because I'm.
I swear I'm excited. I just get really intense when I concentrate on drawing.
No, you're fine. I'm literally. It was funny though, because like literally right before the stream started, I was just like. I was just like dragging myself across the floor because it's just been like a long day, and I just sit down on the computer. I'm just like, no, don't do it. And I turn on the camera. I'm like, hi everybody, this is what we're doing today. That's just the magic of streaming, you guys. We don't know if other people will show up. This is an open thing to all the peoples of IR. So people might pop in randomly. Some people might pop out randomly. They'll come and go like the wind, and that's okay, but we're gonna do some fun stuff. I got the idea to do this stream because Alex did something like this, and I was like, I also want to do this because I have a bunch of things I want to make. I don't have nearly enough time to make them, so why not make
it worked, right?
Make a show out of it, exactly. Because also, as Atwas can confirm, I also talk about, like, campaign settings a lot. I tend to have ideas and then talk about them and then not really do anything with them because I don't have time.
And now you're forced to. Haha.
Aha! Obligation.
Now you're on camera. Everybody's watching you.
I know. Oh my goodness. I realize now that our overlay is slightly blocking the name of tonight's mascot. That over there in the right corner is the Big Sad Man. So. The Big Sad Man is tonight's mascot. Everybody, say hi. Place your bets now. There will be Big Sad Man t-shirts in the store.
Hi, Big Sad Man.
Yeah. I posted on the Patreon, that, you know, a bit of a little poll for all of our delightful patrons out there to pick which of the many campaign settings I've kind of drafted up that we want to work on tonight. And everybody, almost everybody, not like it wasn't unanimous, but like the majority, that's the word I was looking for, the majority of people thought it would be very interesting to dive into this kind of dark Germanic Brothers Grimm inspired fantasy setting I had come up with. So we're doing that. That's what we're going to be working on. I have like the way I'm going into this is like I have some notes on this setting that I've like kind of when I originally had this idea, like I drafted up, but and so we'll talk about that a little bit and we'll just kind of see where it goes. And I'm definitely going to be looking at the chat, talking to my lovely co-hosts as we like just fucking fill this out and make it something cool. Music courtesy of one of my favorite YouTubers in the whole wide world, Adrian Von Ziegler. Please check him out. Also because he makes a lot of Scandinavian, Norse, and Celtic music, and he's just a badass. He makes everything, but like primarily that. So yeah, we have opening a new notebook. I'm using Microsoft OneNote for this because Atwas got me
Fuck
onto
yeah,
it.
OneNote. It's
Fuck
so
yeah.
good.
It's great. It's changed my life. Yes, I
And
wanna
it's
get
free.
it. And it's free. That's honestly the best thing about it is free. Alrighty. Well, okay. Hello, chat. Okay, clever name. Something dropped out. But yes, I'm gonna take a big old sip of my seltzer water because I've been talking for a while. My mouth is dry.
That's okay, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm gonna
where are
keep
we
Big
starting?
Stagman waiting.
Yeah, let's look at that. So, I'm titling my notes as just like dark Germanic setting. And I think eventually we might actually fill out an actual name for this world, as well. That'd be a fun little start at some point too. What was that?
Germany.
Germany. No. We got to go with the right name. It's Deutschland.
Deutschland. Yes.
Deutschland. This will be Deutschland. The fantastical realm of Deutschland. We will start, I think, kind of just talking about. I think obviously when you're building a campaign setting, it behooves you to really look at your sources of inspiration and also kind of like talk about your initial ideas as well. Because I had this idea, as the name would imply, by a bunch of like looking at a bunch of Grimm's fairy tales. And I've known that Grimm's fairy tales are like really fucked up, but like I've like really wanted to explore that a bit more. And also I've been playing a lot of Darkest Dungeon. For those of you who've played that game, it is simultaneously the best and the worst. Have you given that a go, Atwas?
It's not really my style of game to play.
Are you not really like a
I've
roguelike fan?
definitely watched. I like roguelikes, but I'm very specific in what I enjoy playing because I'm
Gotcha.
like that. So
Gotcha.
I'm more of a Binding of Isaac roguelike.
Oh
as
yeah.
opposed to
More like classic, like Zelda dungeon kind of roguelike.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not intending. This is definitely not like as Lovecraftian as Darkest Dungeon is, but like I really love the aesthetic of that game, and so I was just like, oh, cool. So I'm looking at the chat here. Yes. Okay. So let's see. Let's wipe the slate clean. Let's go to a new thing. Let's do something new. What is peeking off to the side there? That little purple thing off to the right.
This is Plague Doctor.
That's a Plague Doctor.
Ah, yes, Plague Doctor. Excellent. Okay. So, yeah, that's a good question. Let's kind of go over what I have so far, I guess, for this, and we can kind of like just like open forum, talk about it. I'm like open to like any and all ideas. Like, let's just talk about them, because how the hell else are we supposed to pad this stream slot? So, yeah, I think one thing I was like thinking about is that this is not like, I don't want this to necessarily be like one of those European analog fantasy settings where it's like, this is very clearly a map of Europe that's slightly different but with the same cultures everywhere. I'd rather stick to the Germanic theme and have it be, yes, not Italy. I'd rather have it be, its own kind of world, like kind of like the Warhammer setting. For those of you who are like familiar with the Warhammer fantasy setting, it's very Germanic inspired, and indeed it looks like Europe. However, in like just the maps of the main region, it just kind of stands on its own. And so I don't know. We'll figure something out. So yeah. So one of the ideas I had is that this is definitely a world where Grimm fairy tales feel like they belong, but in a much darker kind of way. I'm not talking like, DC Universe darky gritty. I more like, that's what I'm looking for. I guess it's like a little bit more of a horror Witcher kind of aesthetic,
Maybe like fairy tales, but they're cautionary tales as
Yeah.
opposed to fantasy.
Yeah. And to be specific, like Grimm's fairy tales, like the book, does not exist in this world. So it's not like it's like, ooh, all the stories are true. Grimm's fairy tales lays the inspiration. However, these things in the world all have, the fucking big bad wolf or the wolf man in the woods. That shit, of course, is going to be a local rumor. But it's not like these are like a collected book of tales that all secretly all true. Yeah. So one of the ideas I had, I was trying to think of like characters that belong in this world, and so I think we will start with, because I'll explain these two, because I feel like these two are actually kind of like the origin of the world, and not like an actual like physical standpoint, like these two didn't begin the world, but like the world as it exists in this campaign setting, I think has a lot to do with these two in particular. These are a pair of siblings named Hans and Grenda that are, of course, inspired by Hansel and Gretel. They are twin monster hunters. Their names are Hans and Grenda Metzler, and because of their experiences as children, with a evil witch that they killed, they have since opened up this kind of like monster hunting order to like,
I'm really sorry, but did you see that one movie?
I did. I did.
Sorry.
We're not gonna talk about it. And my idea is assuredly better.
Oh,
Yeah, Hunting Grounds of Metzler. They are, yeah. So like, in like God, explaining things is always fun. I haven't done this in so long. So like they've kind of founded this like, they're like adults in this setting. They are adults, and they are the heads of this monster hunting order. They are two sides of a coin. In that Grenda is the more physical side of the thing, like martial ability, warrior training. She is the more militaristic, actually like fighting side of the organization, whereas Hans is more of the knowledge side, regarding both like research and lore and studying the more academic aspects of monster hunting. And also Grenda, the name is actually kind of loosely based off of Grendel as well,
Like from Beowulf.
And her left arm is missing and is a prosthetic. Yeah, is a prosthetic that she is outfitted to fuck shit up, because she may or may not also be inflicted with lycanthropy. Who knows? Because while it's on a Grimm fairy tale, I'm like, well, the name Grenda is very similar to Grendel, and I might as well just have her character have some like trait similar to that monster, in that maybe she's a fucking lycanthrope and also is missing an arm. Because why the hell not? Yeah, she's... Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
How respected would this order of monster hunters be? Are they like, oh, thank God you're here, or oh no, it's you guys again, you just fuck things up? Or
So I like to think that the lay of the land here is like, and but it's like from politically, it is very similar to like, let's say like 1600, 1700 Germany, somewhere around there, where there was no real government. It was mostly like independent city states and like rulers. So like the land that they exist in is composed of different rulers, no central government. I think the opinion of this order varies depending on the, kingdom. I guess we'll call them kingdoms for now. If I can think of like a better term for them, we'll get something. Fiefdoms or thane holds, whatever you want to call them. I think it varies. I think by and large, they're mostly seen as like, oh yeah, like fuck, these guys are like getting shit done. They're kind of weird, but they are a respected institution because they're not just like a wandering order. They are kind of like, they do have like an organizational hub.
they have their own kingdom then?
I don't think they have their own kingdom. Maybe they do actually. Let's see. They could either have like their own kingdom or more, or maybe they exist within. I Either they exist within a territory that they're allied with, or they exist in a completely ungoverned region as their base. It's a good idea. Yeah, it's good to think about that. Their headquarters, though, is a large, like, kind of like academy. Like, it is like it's like it has like a campus. They're like, with libraries and training halls and shit like that. The Metzler family, Hans and Grenda, founded the order. And so far we're just referring to it as the order, but they have a family crest. The family crest depicts an open book, a quill, and a bleeding sword. And their their family motto is "The pen is mightier." I think. "The pen is mightier than the sword," or something like that. Which I think in like Latin is "Fortuitus Gladia," something like that. I don't know. Marathi says, "We talking controllable lycanthropy or wild disease curse?" I think it is indeed a curse. However, she is able to stave it off by means of protective arcana. Yeah. So let's see. The order itself. Basically, there are different types of people that occupy the order. The order it trains different sorts. Like, it's not all just like, oh, you're not just a monster hunter. You fall into different classifications. Those classifications are, they are like, for example, like on the more academic side of things, you might become a chronicler, and chroniclers are less of actually getting the dirty work done and more of they travel and document and research and kind of bring information back. More often than not, chroniclers will travel with the actual hunters. One, because they, have valuable resources, and also to share, but also to note kind of the adventures that are happening, so they can be stored and recorded. Because I was like, oh man, it makes sense that this is based on a fucking fantasy book or a fairy tale book, that there should be a group of people who are recording shit all the time. Yeah. You also got what did I call them? Oh yeah, you got hexers. Hexers are trained kind of like witches. They're kind of, so like, evil witches are a thing, obviously. Oh god, the warty nose and everything. Oh god, are you drawing? Oh, you are. Oh god, it's Gruntilda. No! Get those parentheses out of there.
No, it's the truth.
No, Gruntilda's
You can't
big
hide.
titties fill your body with lust. That in 3 seconds if you saw her green bust.
Oh goodness. Yes, there are evil witches like sexy Gruntilda out there in the world. But then there are more, I guess we'll call them good aligned witches. I guess we can call them I'll call them bright seers for now. Like, they are witches who fight against other evil. So hexers are trained underneath the bright seers to wield those magics. Then you have the Kriegers. The Kriegers are like straight up warriors. Like, these are basically like soldiers. These guys have been trained in the art of the sword or whatever weapon they favor. They don't wield magic, and they just, fuck shit up. And then the real crux of the order, like the main group, they're both like the main thing, but they're also the fewest of them, are a group called the Grimmers. Grimmer is short for the grimoire. They refer to these soldiers as grimoires, Grimmers for short, because they are a kind of like, they're kind of like witchers. They are a mix of warrior and magic wielder, who kind of have to fight that battle of like internal darkness on the daily. It is very difficult to become a Grimmer, but if you do, you fucking ace.
So is most magic seen as, more on the evil side?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. This is definitely like a low magic setting, I think. Oh, I like that. I like the aesthetic of that big hat. That's cool.
Yeah, not like the Gruntilda, but very much still reminiscent of witches of the fairy tales.
Exactly, I love it. Yeah, so that's kind of like the order, the ranks of the order that I have so far. And Hans and Greta themselves don't like do any like specific. They don't go out and do shit by themselves much anymore. They're mostly relegated to being the leaders of the order. However, Grenda, I think, will definitely go out and fuck some shit up from time to time. I think that makes sense. Yeah. So, like, let's talk about everything. I don't know where to...
How about, is there a space in this world for, like, more divine magic, since I know that's a fairly big archetype?
Yeah, I think that there totally could be. I think there is actually... I actually wrote this down. I'm trying to find my notes on it. Oh, no. Oh, God, I did write down there was... I think I did write something about that. Yeah, there is I think a predominant religion in this world, and I want to avoid as like much Christ like symbolism as I can. Let's see.
And they were roommates.
Thank you.
Okay, but that's a great fucking manga/anime. Don't at me.
It actually is. It's wonderful. I think I called them just like the Iron Faith, honestly. Just very, very kind of like. That's a good question. Is it like the only religion? Is that like, or are there multiple religions? But like, I don't know. Interesting thoughts.
How I've seen this done in a few other places, but the idea that there's maybe like one deity, but say like clerics of different like orders would get their powers from saints.
Yeah, totally.
Or, martyrs or great figures like that. Maybe that would fit in.
I like that. I really... Because Ravnica introduced me to the concept that... Because there are no gods in the Ravnica setting, clerics and paladins get their magic from just believing in their cause. Just, like, from, like, personal beliefs, or just, like, following the ideals of, like, their leaders. So, like, having... Like, yeah, like, those different, like, kind of, like, subclasses come from... like saints. I think that's an awesome idea. Because then it also creates like what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm so like different doctrines, basically, like these different groups who like are basically the same religion, but they have different like shapings on it, and they might all get along. Yeah, I probably think there's also there's definitely like an order. I think I don't think that the Order Academy trains these holy figures. I think they actually maybe they come from like a different group, but like frequently they interact because I think they're both begrudging to admit that they kind of need each other sometimes. Although maybe that's only some of them. Maybe some other like other groups of these religions, other sects and whatnot. Are strongly opposed and are trying to root this out and stuff like that. I guess it depends on the region.
Student exchange program. I mean, what?
What, huh?
What?
I like that.
Oh,
idea.
I said okay. All right. I didn't know if you actually didn't hear me.
No. Yeah, no. I could hear you. I was playing around. Yeah. So this religion. Let's talk about that. Yeah, I think that's a topic worth going into.
I didn't think about how much space I had. Oh my god.
He's got a big chest. he's a big boy. I love him. Yeah. Any ideas
Cool.
on this potential like religion? Like like one god. So this like monotheistic religion. I'll make note of that.
No, Fire Emblem Three Houses had something similar with like the Crest system. With each crest, which is like power, which are ended from like ancestors and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Had like different effects that could play into that kind of.
Oh, that's cool.
Closest analog I could think of.
I like that.
I feel like with a big religion that would probably have a good bit of power, it's very easy to go a certain way, and I don't know if you want to avoid that or not.
What?
Like,
yeah.
Like tyrannical church is just so easy.
It is so easy, and I think I want to avoid the trope of that being like everywhere. However, I think it's totally within reason. There are those tropes in just fantasy where it's like, yeah, it's used a lot, but it can just make perfect sense if given certain information. I think it would make sense that different regions of whatever countryside of whatever world we exist in, some sects might be more tyrannical and might have a stronger foothold in that area. And I mean, it all depends on like the local leaders and kind of all that. So like, and I'm also really into not just like the politics of different governments interacting with each other in fantasy, but the politics of different religions, especially the same sects the same religion but different sects interacting with each other, because they might clash, and that there's both government intrigue and religious intrigue. You get like
actually, sorry, I had an idea that came to me. What if instead of more like a more traditional like divine solo god, it's more like a nature type thing, which would kind of go with why they're so against unnatural aberrations and the more strange magic is that it's an abomination against nature, and so kind of druids would sort of fit in under that, and then everyone would take different aspects, different saints and sects would take different aspects of that.
You say like druids and stuff, like, so if they believe that magic is like an abomination, like how do druids come into that play?
I would say druids could be like worshippers of like the original like one god. Like they don't go in for like saints or whatever. They're like, you need saints. That's sacrilege. Why would you worship a lesser being or what? I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
No, I like it. I do like that. Natural, interesting. I also do like this kind of like holy faith like god as well. As well as natural. I think interesting. Because I do want to play with the concepts of a tyrannical religion in that kind of crusader way.
Hell yeah.
For some people, because that is just cool. I also like that concept as well. And I'm wondering if that's just because it's a different sect of the same belief, or it's some people just believe in a different god. Or a different
that
concept.
Sounds like heresy.
I know, right? Which I guess some kingdoms might not like.
Yeah, it's talking big game for someone within crusading distance.
Exactly. And I think it would make even more sense for people who live in like less populated, more, just kind of like rural regions, to believe more in the power of the land surrounding them, whereas people who live in big fucking cluttered cities and shit might who definitely see less of like nature, and not everyone's like a farmer, not everyone is working with the land itself, might be more predisposed to exist in this area where there's less of like a natural religion, and it's more of this kind of doctrined church of faith regarding the way to live your life, in accordance with some divine law or something. I don't know. Which could explain why there's like different gods. I definitely want to go with the vibe that we don't. It's not like removing yourself from the opinions of the world, like opinions of the people. Objectively, we do not know if the gods are real. So it's not like, you know, like, let's like Forgotten Realms, like, oh, the gods are definitely real. Here's all of their adventures. And I definitely want to go into the more kind of the vague, like, of this aspect of faith where it's like, we may not necessarily know for certain if the gods that this group, you know, praises is the truth, but they believe it is, and that's what matters to them.
So would it be more like we don't know if these gods exist, or we worship this person and we don't know if they were a god or were touched by God or not, or something?
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Because if we're going with the saints thing, then it'd be like, was this person an actual divine messenger or not?
Let's break this down into a couple of things. So let's see. We have I'm writing this down. I'll just refer to it as the divine messenger saints. And then we also have the natural religion you talked about. And then we have I'll refer to them as like the Iron Crusaders. Oh man. And really I don't, and I mean, feel free to disagree with me. I don't see a reason why all of these can't exist in the world comfortably to us, not necessarily to them. They might be fucking like, fuck those guys over there, but like, because
but they realistically exist in the same world.
Yeah, like they realistically exist in the world because it makes sense for people. Regionality does also inform culture. So that makes sense to me. If you have this group, like, you know, these sects that, you know, more so believe in these, as you put them, divine messengers of saints, like, were they God touched, or who knows? And less specifically, it's like we don't necessarily know. I would see those people being like more humble in terms of their faith, in that we don't necessarily know the greater forces that be, but we can speak of their, you know, of these people who we believe to be their, you know, maybe not incarnation, but like representatives on Earth. These saints, who, you know, maybe saints that maybe said different things, but some people will believe different things. But maybe the people who fall in line with the saints more so believe, oh, maybe it's more of like kind of like an agnostic view of necessarily like of an all-powerful divine being, but more of their stock is placed in these individuals. I like that. Whereas, like, you have, like, I'm gonna refer to them as the Iron Faith, who believe in a specific god, and I don't think they would necessarily all view the divine, the saint worshippers as heresy. Maybe some of them, but I think by and large, it's that kind of, like, looking down way of kind of being like, yes, your saints are the saints of our God, of the one God, whatever that is. And I'm not saying that all of the Iron Faith are kind of like the holier than thou types, but they believe they believe they know who and what their God is. I think the natural religion, this is interesting because I was thinking about this. Because in the chat also said druids might see nature to be protected, while the church may see it as a gift to them from the nature gods. I like these logos you drew. These are really cool. I especially like love this druid one. That it's interesting. I have to think about this. I like this idea of you have these people in more rural regions. Maybe it's not even necessarily a nature god. Maybe they more so just worship just kind of like the land itself, not even necessarily as a single entity. You know, they might believe, oh, you know, it's like, this is like, like, I'm stealing one out of the book of World of Warcraft here. Like, this is the Earth Mother, you know? Like, and that, like, their magic is natural magic. However, I also think that, like, depending on the druid, they might also see other arcana as like evil because it's unnatural magic. It's against the natural order. Whereas I'm pretty sure like the fucking Iron Faith are just like all magic except divine magic is wicked and heresy. Like, of course, our magic is the true magic because we are literally vessels for our god, or something of that ilk. Any ideas, anyone?
Maybe
He's trying to work out a saint.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Maybe it would be more of like all like deities are actually take their power from like the natural world type thing, so it seemed more as like a taking type deal instead of, you know, directly. I don't know. It's Druidic stuff is weird.
Yeah, druid stuff is weird. We can come back to that later. I really do like these. I really do like these, like the saints concept, and like the idea of like, you know, like different monasteries like in the world, like, you know, like these monasteries of Saint Brunhilde or something like that, which is on one hand they might be a very kind of like humble and welcoming kind of like, you know, helping the needy kind of group. Like, you know, kind of like, you know, like a hospice kind of thing, like a hostel kind of thing, you know. But then you have like these saints of, you know, Lady Gwyneth the Penitent or something like that, who is more about, you know, justice and stuff like that. Follow in the footsteps of these teachings from individual saints.
Something we're thinking about would be what saints are alive right now, maybe.
Ooh.
Because they don't all have to be dead necessarily. There could be some that are rising or gaining power.
That's a good question. That's a good question. I like that. Cool. I'm gonna write that down. Yeah, well, let's circle back to that. And then the Iron Faith. I'm wondering if it is too tropey to make the Iron Faith the group that is just kind of like uniformly the same in all of their incarnations. Because we had the Saints, and I mean, because I had mentioned before, it's like, oh, like some sects are a bit lighter than others, but like I kind of like that this, like, the Saints are more, they seem like more widespread across just the world, and that and their differing beliefs there. I'm wondering if we should make the Iron Faith, like they are the tyrannical religion.
So you're thinking like the Holy Roman Empire kind of thing?
Yeah, maybe they're not necessarily as big as that, but like, you know, it's like they could just as easily. Yeah, same concept. What do you think about that, Atwas?
I mean, they are iron, unyielding, like it's sort of in the name, and it would make sense, and it would be a good contrast between the other two sort of areas that we have.
Yeah.
Having something more organized in terms of the religion, while, you know, say the kingdoms and the governments are less so. It makes sense to me.
So cool. So we'll have the Iron Faith be that. That's yeah.
Because like maybe your kingdom can't protect you. Maybe you have a weak ruler. You would turn to someone else, whether that be maybe a saint in a backwater town who's gained power, and, you know, you can draw from their portfolio, or this bastion, the Iron Faith. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, I like that. And then of course, we've discussed these guys, but we also have to consider the other powers that be in the world that aren't just those that are worshipped in the light, but those that are worshipped in the dark. The darker sides of, like, the dark forces that be, you know, like the evil essences that are literally our monster hunters are fighting against. Sure, I think there are like cases of like wild just think creatures and evil out there, but like, what if there are more powerful evils that have some pull? Be that maybe even if it's just like cults, or they're just powerful forces that might not necessarily have a following, they just exist in the world, you know? Like, they are out there. There is more than just the monsters.
I mean, but I mean, the way it's sort of set up, if everyone can choose a saint, why wouldn't there be evil, quote unquote,
Exactly.
saints?
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
even with the Iron Church, like, I mean, who's not to say that, there are tropey extremist
Mhm.
members who believe that, the only way to, I don't know, protect is to know thine enemy. I don't fucking know.
No, I like that. I also think it's like, yeah, I definitely think there are evil saints for sure. Like, I love the concept of like a really fucking like gothic horror aesthetic monastery on some mountain, like looming over a village or something that is just like the Saint of Pain or something like that.
Very, very Castlevania. I love it.
Yes, very
Saint
exactly.
of being the worst.
A lot, and also that's another game, Castlevania, that's inspiration for this, as well as the new game Blasphemous. Has given me some aesthetic inspiration, which I want to play that at some point.
Die, monster! You don't belong in this world.
But also, I'm aside from like just evil saints, I'm also talking about like just like evil dark forces of chaos and evil. Like
on a different page though, because like this is all full of
yeah, that's fine.
logistics for the thingies.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, I want to actually dive into like the actual forces that exist in the world for a second, if y'all are cool with that, because I think that we have a lot of good stuff on like just in general about like just what we talked about so far, but like let's talk about what's actually out there. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it was just a quick question. Since this
Yeah.
is a low magic world, how powerful are these forces going to be? Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm,
If you're
yeah.
limited in your power, are the dark powers gonna be at the same level as like
I think
the archdemons or whatever?
Yeah, I think low magic in the way of like just like by and large, like magic does not like apply to the majority of civilization and life out there. Like you're not gonna find like a magic shop in a city. You're not gonna find like magically powered things that are publicly out there. They're like, I think in like some cases, like sure the church has like some magical things, but it's very like you definitely don't see a lot of magic. I don't necessarily think that means the magic is like completely limited in its power. I think that some of these dark forces might be like extremely powerful, basically just forces of chaotic, evil, dark, arcane magics, the dark, is that the dank turtle or the dark turtle?
Dank.
The dank turtle. Yes. Like let's talk about like evil witches, like Hans and Grenda's witch that they, encountered. And this is a cool little idea I had. Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Evil. That's the true evil of the world right there. That's it right there.
Gruntilda, sexy.
Gruntilda is the true evil of the world.
No. Hard
No.
no. Let's see. What if we went with? Oh yeah. So anyway, yes, the witch that they fought. I thought the name was like, we'll call her like Totenkinder. But then I realized it's literally already a character in the Fables comics, which are great. And please read them. But like, terrible. So I don't have a name for her right now. But what I did have is like, in the order halls, like wherever, somewhere, they have the charred skull of that witch, like in like a chamber on a pedestal, because they use it to extract like oracular shit from it. Cause like
You gotta suck out that. Gotta slurp that bone juice.
yes, that bone juice, this like kind of like just, like flame scarred and like charred skull that still, even in death, exudes traces of just like dark magic that they can use to like gain some gleams into like information that they don't have. It's very much like doesn't give them a full picture, but it gives them like a start. Typically for like higher end, I'd say like monster hunting, like they will usually consult the skull to get like insight, because I think that witch that they inadvertently killed as children was a very powerful witch, and so they are still able to harness usefulness out of that skull even years later. But I'm wondering if like these dark forces have identities of themselves, or they're just kind of like that formless dark, you know, that kind of pervades. Because a lot of
like the formless. I feel like the formlessness exemplifies what most people are afraid of. The dark force.
Yeah, and that's a lot of Grimm's fairy tales. It's like, oh, what's out there? You know, it's like the unknown. It's like, you know, being in the woods. You know, oh, there's something out there. You know, it's always that kind of like children's fear of like, you don't know what's there. The boogeyman is formless. Oh my fucking god,
That's such
Juno.
a cool idea. Sorry. I thought you were talking about chat.
I
because
was.
that is a
No, sorry.
sick idea.
I was looking at chat, and then I looked over at the drawing page, and I was just like, God damn
Like
it.
that.
I feel like it sometimes.
I drew that the skull was completely serious. The sad part was not.
Is that it?
But yes, I agree. Could Grimmers make Warlock Pact to the skull? Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I think that's a great idea. I'm gonna write that one down. Grimmers can make Warlock Pacts with skull. Yeah, and I think that, and like in terms of like actual pre-existing D&D mechanical lore, that would probably be like the Undying, patron, or the Hexblade. I think, and even I think even clerics might be able to, not necessarily get like, you know, not like worship it in the archetypical cleric way, but more so like if you're like, you know, that like the knowledge domain, you would definitely more so be like, you know, have your power coming from being one of the like those like, you know, the research side of the order, if you remember the order, that is. But like there's nothing to say that you wouldn't, like, you know, also have some power gained from consulting with the oracular skull of this dead witch. I think that's super cool.
So how do you feel about hags as like monsters?
I think hags are fine.
Okay.
Why? What's up? Do you have
just
differing
just
thoughts?
just kind of the concept of those like really powerful kind of fucked up witches reminded me a lot of the hag lore that is available.
Mhm,
Where yeah. Crazy like covens and shit.
Yeah. And what about the Pact of the Fae? It's a great question in the chat. The Fae is interesting because in Grimm's fairy tales, I mean, fairy isn't the name, but I'm having a hard time remembering specific fairy stories. And that is a good question of where the Fae comes into play, and like for example, the Warlock Archfey patron, because hags are Fae, in. Excuse me. Are Fae in D&D. Interesting. I stroke my beard. God damn it. I always look away and I look back.
Sorry, dude. Can't help it.
I need to just keep my eye on this at all
Listen,
times.
as you can see, Gruntilda is now a flying fairy.
Disgusting. Let's see.
Well, I know like changeling stories, fairies.
Oh yeah.
Or like the whole, you know, I guess that one's more American, but it's like, you know, the whole fall asleep, you come back really super old. That's a fairy thing.
Yeah.
Is Rumpelstiltskin Fae? I feel like I get strong.
He
Fae
should
vibes.
be though, right?
He's Fae. Sorry, don't make
Yeah.
the rules sweaty. He's Fae.
Yeah, no, he's
I
Fae.
mean, you gain ultimate power over him when you know his name. Totally Fae.
I mean, like, I know like the original thing, like he's described as like imp-like, but imps are demons. There's no, everything Rumpelstiltskin does is indicative of some dark Fae creature. I like that. Also, yeah, Rumpelstiltskin is definitely a thing in this world because it's Brothers Grimm inspired. Okay, and I don't think that the setting necessarily has like a Fae realm, you know, like there's not like a Feywild, but there might be like Feywild, like in the D&D context of Feywild, but there might be like a, what's the word I'm looking for here, I don't want I don't want to go full Feywild. But I kind of like want to dip my toe a little bit into that kind of Celtic otherworld idea. But I don't know nearly enough about Germanic fairies to like to have an informed opinion on that.
Kobolds are technically Germanic Fey creatures. I mean,
They are. Yeah, true. Yeah, no, this is definitely gonna. If were this applied to a D&D like mechanical setting, like, yeah, you're gonna have to bend the classifications of monsters a little bit, and that's okay. That's totally okay. Like, yeah, in this setting, kobolds are not little dragonoids, and they are probably eating children, as you know, classic kobolds do.
anyway.
God damn it, Juno. Is that what your sigh was about, Atwas?
No.
Oh.
No, you missed it. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay. I am thankful.
Why would Atwas be sighing at this? They're my accomplice.
So like hags, I mean, yeah, like hags are easily able to like fill that void of like evil witches out in the just in the world. But for this thing, they may not necessarily be like fae creatures. They might just be they could either be just like normal humans that are augmented by, you know, the dark powers that they have aligned themselves with, or they could literally just be human-shaped monsters that are these like witches. I think it depends. Like, you know, like a green hag could very well just be an evil old woman witch, but like an anise hag, those like giant like warty hulking monstrosities, could just also be monsters. In a case like that, I also think it's like largely up to just kind of like the story you want to tell. If you want to focus more on humans doing bad shit over monsters doing bad shit, you know? For a second, I thought you were drawing Santa Claus.
No, this isn't Santa Claus.
This is Grunty Claus! No!
Frere and the bird have been very bad. I'm going to put coal in your stocking, you cad.
Yeah, night hags night hags are fiends. Ah, the wonderful mechanics of D&D subraces. Well, witches aside, we know that they're out there and they are evil. Yeah, Hag-Eye, Heartstones, and Soul Bags. I do like night hags. Night hags are cool. Oh, now I'm thinking about fiends. I'm like, oh my god, how do demons work? We'll get to that later. Irrelevant. But like, yeah, we look at like the Little Red Riding Hood story, and are we inferring that there is one big bad wolf creature out there, or there's just a general werewolf problem?
There's got to be like a clan of them.
Mm-hmm.
Big bad wolf is their leader. That's why he's big and bad.
Either he's their leader or he's a renegade. Depends on how you look at it.
Renegade wolves sound interesting because like that would probably indicate that like the wolves have some sort of order or hierarchy.
Well, it would make sense, like pack.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And the big bad wolf has always been seen alone.
So like that would kind of go.
Yeah. Is the big bad wolf a werewolf or some just monstrous wolf-like creature? That's an idea I just had.
Awakened wolf.
It could be. Awakened wolf. I like the cursed effect on the skull fountain.
Oh yeah, that looks super cool.
The mana fount.
Yeah, that's super fucking cool, man. Well, you got these. Okay, so yeah, we got the. Okay, yeah. Well, anyway, I love that kind of that clan mentality because that makes sense. And I don't think there's necessarily like
hag.
there might not necessarily. I mean, there's not like one clan in the world. I mean, if you're gonna be a wolf man, you're probably gonna gather in packs, and there's probably multiple packs spread out over the vastness of the world. So like maybe werewolves. There's not like a central kind of like werewolf evil, but it is a typical behavior of werewolves and like lycanthropic creatures to form into packs with other werewolves in their region. And some packs are bigger and more powerful than others elsewhere in the world. Something like that.
Yeah, I think that would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because, like, it doesn't make sense for there to be, like, I don't think, like, just, like, one, like, clan. I'm like,
You have lycanthropy? Welcome to Wolf Club West. Welcome to the Western.
Yes. There are multiple tribes. I guess we could call them. Tribes or clans. Packs.
Makes sense to call them packs because they're wolves.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Big Bad.
That one's Big Bad. I like it.
Yeah, he's got a big scar.
Big Bad is, I think, an insufferably smart creature. You know.
He has glasses now. He's smart.
No.
He only wears the glasses when he's impersonating grandma.
Yes.
We'll see you in 5, dear.
Are there multiple wolves in Grimm's Fairy Tales? Or is there really just the Little Red Riding Hood one?
I'm sure there are. You know, you should look up some Russian fairy tales because there's some fucked up ones.
Oh shit! Here's an idea.
There's a lot of shape shifting, like Baba Yaga is a really cool concept. The Snow Queen. Are you familiar?
Yeah. Snow Queen.
She's terrifying.
Oh yeah, horrifying. I love it. Oh yeah, Baba Yaga's great.
But also Kashi Beskirtny. That doesn't mean anything, you know. But you get what I'm trying to say.
Atwas speaks Russian for the next 2 hours. I don't think the Three Little Pigs is Grimm's Fairy Tales. Is it? I don't know. I'll look this up. Dat Shy Guy said this. Perhaps Big Bad Wolf isn't a werewolf, but a wenwolf, which is just a wolf stuck in several time paradoxes. But jokes aside, there are creatures called wolf-wares, which are humanoid wolf creatures. They don't turn into humans. Not like in like they are able to shapeshift into humans for the purpose of killing people, as opposed to being humans who turn into monsters. They are monsters that can adopt the shape of humans, of any human, which would make more sense for a Big Bad Wolf who's able to convincingly kind of look like someone else's grandmother.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now he's a wenwolf now. He has 4 watches on his right forearm. On his right foreleg.
maybe Big Bad isn't a werewolf, but is a wolf monster that is able to shapeshift into humanoid form. And if you really want to deep dive into the lore there, it could literally be that he's an ancient fucking werewolf who has completely gotten rid of his human form or has somehow learned how to just assume any shape. But that becomes more obscure lore. I think it's a cool concept of it is almost always this monstrous wolf that can assume whatever shape it fucking desires for hunting.
Really interesting.
I think, oh man, what if the Big Bad Wolf is essentially kind of like a forest god? Not like literally, but like is old enough and kind of feared enough for some people to want to worship this creature as like a fucking forest spirit. Like, because I mean, if you have a creature that's out in the woods for long enough that you know there has killed a lot and has been alive for who knows how many centuries, like, fuck man, like I think some people would start to worship that thing, which would then possibly even lead to.
That's why we have packs of werewolves. They're bestowed with
purposeful lycanthropy.
Can you imagine a zealot barbarian that worships the Big Bad Wolf?
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I was about to say Thabagath, but I really dead. But he's canonically a furry because he's part druid, so you know.
Amazing.
You know, just say.
Dat Shy Guy says glory to Atwas Dotska.
Duh.
What if he is like the dark reflection of the good natured spirit that the druids worship? If Big Bad's been around long enough, chances are people would absolutely try to make a cult about him. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Fair.
There are now he's obviously not called the Big Bad Wolf. Like he's gonna have some fucking like Germanic name.
What's Big Bad Wolf in German?
I'm going to Google Translate right now.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Big Bad Wolf in English into German, because we can always trust, always trust Google Translate.
It's good with a lot of languages.
It is the, oh god, hold on. I'm gonna, wolf did not translate, so I assume wolf just means the same thing in German. Unless is it because I capitalized wolf? No, wolf, I think it's just wolf. Is that, yeah, wolf is wolf. Yeah, wolf is wolf in yeah. It's grosse Boser wolf. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm gonna click the little listen button. The grosse Boser wolf. Okay. The chatter definitely heard that. Okay. What if we just put in the word large evil? The Grozubel. That's interesting. We'll probably figure out some. Please give us your suggestions for things to translate into German to figure out a name, because that's actually how I came up with a couple of names for like the order stuff. Like Krieger is literally directed from the word Krieg, which is German for war, and also because Kriegers I think are an actual type of thing in another fantasy setting, but they're not like they're basically just people who, it's like a fighting style. It's the Krieger fighting style. And the name of the two different parts of the order is, you have the Zauberfall Institute and the Kriegszug Academy, which is Zauberfall. I literally just mashed the words for magic and like book together. Not book. I think it was collect. I don't know, but it was mashing the German translations of the word magic and folio together, so you got the Zauberfall Institute. Twisted Wolf. Oh, okay, I'll throw that one. Gimmick says, man, everything that kills things is a cult. I bet my lawnmower has a cult. If you want a cheesy nickname for him, it's just the Fangs of the Forest. Interesting. Okay. I'll translate. Let's see. Let's translate Twisted. Twisted. Oh my god, how do you pronounce this? This is a cool word. Vedrita. Vedrita. Oh, interesting. What if I typed in the Twisted one? Oh, that's interesting how that comes out as Der Vedrita. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna make a note of that. Maybe not for this guy. Oh man, now I'm thinking of the Crooked Man rhyme. I know that's great, but I think it's a Mother Goose rhyme. But like, instead of the Crooked Man, you call him Der Vedrita because that's because he's the fucking twisted one. That's tasty. Yeah, I'm trying. I have a list of Grimm's fairy tales. I'm trying to think of like other evil creatures from like the more popular ones. Would you consider Rumpelstiltskin evil or just a force of chaos?
He's definitely a troublemaker.
Yeah.
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah, very much so.
Actually,
he's a businessman.
I think maybe true neutral. True neutral.
True neutral, I think makes more sense. Yeah.
Because he definitely follows rules. Those rules are just incomprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he's a businessman.
Yeah.
True.
He does business.
I'm a businessman.
So,
oh God.
Are there? When I'm thinking about the witches, by the way, where do they get their magic? Let's talk about that. Like, what?
Do you want to go with the classic, like, make a deal with the devil type thing?
I think I want to avoid the devil because I think that's just kind of boring. Like devil and like, you know, the hell and the infernal kind of devil, but like.
So like, would we have a devil in like in the sense of the like the central religion that in this world? Because like, it doesn't seem like in the lore of the
I know.
The world,
yeah, like
religion.
Maybe like maybe it's that just kind of like great formless dark, I guess, or whatever. You know, that kind of.
Maybe it's it's arcane magic. If the ruling forces of the world use like divine and druidic magic mostly in this low magic setting, maybe the witches like use arcane magic and they pass it down and have apprentices and stuff like that. And that's weird. You're not given magic by God or a saint. It's witchcraft.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's forbidden knowledge. Ooh, yeah. And then of course
forbidden by who?
Exactly, forbidden by people of like of the different faiths. But like, then of course I like that. Then of course, who, if you go far back enough, who gave the witches that magic? If anyone,
Who taught the first witch?
Yeah, who taught the first witch? Who was the first witch? That's a good question. What if the first witch? Oh, what if the first witch is kind of like almost like a mythic, almost in like for like the evil, evil creatures, more of like a kind of like demigod figure in terms of how they're revered still.
That would be sick.
And maybe it's Baba Yaga, or like a Baba Yaga analog.
Maybe. I'm thinking the first witch would be more of a Vasilisa type, where she could be good.
Oh,
she
yeah.
could be evil, where Baba Yaga tends to be more on the evil side, but like Vasilisa, she's beautiful, she's vain, she can transform people and herself on a whim, and there are a lot of Russian fairy tales about her.
I'm out of space again. I'm gonna start.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
The coloring remained.
Because it's mine, so it was on different layers.
What if she was just a powerful, like, arcanist or dark druid and eventually just got worshipped to the point of becoming her own divine patron / magic source?
I mean, do we want to
these things
put divine into it?
No, no. Like, I don't think that witches have any divine sources.
Probably
Do
just
we want
arcane.
to do like a... Sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted you.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, yeah, I should have mentioned, like, in terms of, like, races of the world, I think that this is maybe, like, a human-specific setting. Like, I for some reason, I can't see other fantasy races existing in here. Like, it really just feels like humans. As, like, playable races, I mean. You know?
Yeah, I feel that.
Could I make an argument
Sure.
for half-elves as, like, changelings?
I mean, honestly,
Maybe.
there is a changeling race.
Yeah,
I mean-
but that's a bit much. Like, for what you're going for.
Oh, yeah, fair. Because that would practically then become, like, a fucking monster that you would hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
The argument for half-elves. That is a good question. I'm not opposed to it. I would love to dive into that a bit more in a bit and think about that, because that's a cool concept. This...
raised by a human, you end up being a changeling. You have to move from town to town because you keep outliving everyone. People wonder why you don't age as much, why you have natural, proclivities for strange magics.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're definitely warming me up to the idea a lot more. I like that a lot.
I just like arguing with my DM.
I know you do.
I don't do it that much.
You don't. I'm just making a point. Oh, I like someone. Is someone admiring themselves in the mirror here? Juno?
It's the original witch.
The original witch.
Oh, what if it was kind of like a Prometheus type thing that brought the first like spark of magic and gave it
That
to
could be interesting.
humans for their own. Maybe the first witch stole that magic
Ooh.
and took it for her own uses, controlled it and bent it, where it used to be something that was more like primordial and wild.
And like, what if we also kind of embrace the concept that In a similar kind of like Lord of the Rings vein, like magic is kind of like fading from mortal, use. It's like, and I'm not saying it's like it's impossible for mortals to use magic, but like that's why magic is by and large not like arcane magic isn't like super present in a lot of things, is because just like one, a lot of groups don't see it essential, but also because it's like a lot more obscure and like harder to harness from like the everyman, and it's also just because of the actions of evil or whatever, like magic is just like slowly petering out and dying, not like anytime soon.
I feel like the idea of
it's like decaying.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Like the tie with the idea of like magic not being like inherently good or evil or anything.
Yeah.
Like that's an idea I like to see, that I like seeing when it's played in fantasy, like on Fire Emblem, that like like quote unquote dark magic is not like inherently evil so much as like and like possibly dangerous. So like arcane magic in this world could possibly be like the I guess.
Oh, okay.
What? Sorry, you cut out.
Volatile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like magic is very volatile. Yeah. That's a similar theme in another setting of mine, is that magic, in another setting, I one of the ones that I put up on the poll, though, is that in that one, magic is, like, so volatile, it's basically, like, napalm in terms of, like, well, not like explosive.
Michael Bay at the
yes.
Michael Bay.
No, it's like literally
like
when you draw magic out from the aether, where the fuck you get it from, it's essentially like just raw chaotic energy that you have to, through force of will, shape, or it will fucking kill you. Not necessarily to that extent here.
That's some fancy and shit.
Yeah. Like, not necessarily to that extent here, but like magic is just a volatile force, and hence why the order, like Grimmers and Hexers are less common, is because it's hard as hell to train in arcane magic. Because it can kill you. Which is perfect for a wild magic sorcerer.
So, if magic was decaying, then what was it like when it wasn't? And are there any remnants of that in the
I don't think there
world?
are. I think that was so long ago.
Okay,
That's
that long.
Yeah.
Like, not even excavations. It's
back
just
when people actually
dusting.
studied this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
First
But
person
that
to
also
harness
gives
the
you-
unknowable.
I mean, it also gives you the opportunity to have like these really bizarre, strange artifacts, languages that haven't been spoken in
Yeah.
millennia, centuries, do
Mhm.
weird shit that are incomprehensible, but
Yeah.
if you do it just like this, then maybe it's beneficial, but maybe it's not. Maybe you want to stay away from, places where those kinds of artifacts exist.
Yeah,
It's
that's
haunted.
cool. Yeah. Woods are haunted. Don't go in there.
Yeah.
I like that.
What's haunted?
Yes, moon's haunted.
Castle's haunted. It's just animated armor, but like,
Can you
nobody
imagine
knows
if an
about that.
entire castle was animated? in like a monster house kind of way.
I definitely had a DM turn an entire house into a mimic, and that was certainly something.
Oh wow. Damn.
Level 1, almost fucking wiped. It was great.
Ouch. The angry castle.
Oof.
He had a bit of a thing for mimics. It was really, it got a bit much, but
I see.
Talk to your DM. It's fine.
Yeah. This first witch. I mean, oh, and you know what? Maybe this first witch is kind of, because I would like to figure out like where the break comes in witches being like, and not like all witches, but like like in like a lot of these evil witches that are being hunted, being these fucking like hags, these crones, or these dark evil creatures that are practicing dark arcana.
Oh.
However, on the other hand, yes, I'll get to you in a second. Keep your hand raised. You also have the Bright Seers, who are good witches, so it is entirely possible to say that the Bright Seers hold on to the fact that, I don't know. Go ahead, Atwas.
So, the first witch either had 2 daughters or 2 apprentices. One was taught and the other stole.
Ooh.
There you go. So the one that was taught kind of went on to be
And-
the sort of ancestral master for all the
OG
Bright
rights.
Witches.
And
Yeah.
the one that stole killed her sister.
Mm.
Hence
So they can be both be apprentices and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be sick.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, maybe the one that
Because
stole
that
after
keeps the
killing his sister
concept
got,
of
like,
that.
cursed.
Yeah, that also keeps the concept that while, you know, there might be 2 drastically different, you know, shades of how this magic is used, like from this like dark evil way to how the bright, you know, the bright seers use it, they are still from the same thing.
Yeah.
They are both related, even if they don't want to be. And, you know, I like that. That's a cool in-world story, too. It's one of those things that, like, we might not necessarily know if that is 100% the truth, but it's a story. Stories get passed on from generation to generation, and that's just kind of the story that is told. And it's been so long that no one can say for certain, you know, that this is exactly what happened. You know, like, to quote one of my favorite books, all stories are true, but this one really happened. I like that. That's cool. These 2 sisters. I also do like keeping magic in this setting kind of like, not like 100%, but kind of feminine. You know? Because, you know, men can use magic. Absolutely. It's not exclusive. But I do kind of like this more, matriarchal kind of shape on it. I don't know, I like it. God. Grunty strikes back.
Had to do it to him.
You know, Grunty had to do it to him.
We're always in a state of doing it to him.
Sometimes you just have to go to
Xander.
town. Sometimes you just really gotta go to town on a motherfucker.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, man. But then, so, like, if this is, like,
In this piece of history, quite the gem. You know Grunty had to do it to him. He.
Oh, shit. What if... Not, and, you know, again, keeping with the theme, this might not necessarily be true, but this is something... This is one of stories I believe, because I like this kind of formless, dark entity that may not be worshipped by all evil witches, but is certainly worshipped by some. You know, I like there being different takes on the origins of things. Literally, what if this formless dark, what some people believe, is that it is literally the just kind of, you know, evil, cursed, corrupted spirit of that one sister, you know, who is physically deceased, but her existence is as just kind of an all-consuming darkness of forbidden arcana that she shares to her faithful.
Twisted by hate and the things that she
Mhm.
stole. Why
Mhm.
did you teach her instead of me? Why did you give her this instead
is
of
very
me?
Grimm's
Why was
fairy tale,
she
yeah.
your favorite?
Yeah.
And then just sort of warped over. Like, I'm gonna try and take my revenge on you, but it's sort of that sort of.
Yeah. And that's also just very Grimm's fairy tale like, you know? She's just this fucking wicked evil. And but again, that might not even be true. Maybe some people even believe that Formless Dark is just the personification of evil made manifest, or it is like some sort of demon, or it is, you know,
It all depends on who you ask.
It all depends on who you ask, and because why should mortals know? You know, it's like this is information that like people would like to find out, you know, especially the Order, but like there's 1,000,001 different stories, and stories are a heavy emphasis in this setting, I think, because it's, you know, based off of, you know, Grimm's fairy tales. But it is just so there are so many possibilities here for what could be the truth over what is the truth. And maybe what is the truth doesn't 100% matter in many cases. At the end of the day, for the Order at least, they, as long as they can kill it, half of the Order is happy, while the other
I'm
half would like...
backstabbing the witch over here.
Yes, backstabbing the witch. How public are these witch stories? Gimmick asks. I mean, I think as public as any like fucking like rumor you could get, you know. Again, it's like it's some people might see it as little more than it's just a story. Some people might be more superstitious about it. I think it depends where you ask. You know, like in a big cosmopolitan city, you know, people are probably less likely to regard it as, you know, whole cloth truth as being like, ah, yes, we all know that, like, you know, bedtime story or that boogeyman tale. Dad Shy Guy says, what if this formless dark was seen as something of a shadow and it was feared for its ability to blot up the... and then shot.
Back into another freaking...
Yep. Back to it. And when I picture, like... I'm like... And, like, I'm also having a very strong picture of, like, you know, middle of the woods, fucking ramshackle hut assembled from, like, twigs and, like, you know... just like, you know, just assembled, and evil witches, crones, like kind of lurking in the darkness with like bones and shit around them, and in some cases communing to a darker power.
Commuting to a darker part. They're taking the evil witch bus.
The evil witch bus, yes. They're. I said communing, not commuting.
I mean, why else do you think all the witches ride at fucking, I don't know, the full moon?
Gotta commute.
Sorry.
There is
Yeah,
that
dude.
evil. Is that the evil witch bus right there? I swear to God, if you draw Grunty driving, and I'm gonna kill you.
He's not gonna be driving the
No, Atwas, get out of here.
sexy bus. But it's got wheels, but it like walks around like a Baba Yaga. Like the wheels are completely worthless.
The wheels on the bus are so worthless. So worthless. No. Oh my goodness. I love the little drawing of the other sister you have over off to the side there. It's so... I like it. I don't know. I just like the shapes on it. Meanwhile, you have her other more dramatic sister screaming out from a void of tentacles and shadow. How do you guys think... What do you guys think about demons in this world?
Do we have to have demons?
I don't think we have to. At all.
I feel like it's
I
kind
think
of a little
the-
cosmologically
Yeah.
crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this keeping to just kind of like the powers that are present, you know, in the world, and we don't have to add layers of like demons. You know what? To state my demon craving, the Iron Faith and maybe some other people probably refer to some creatures as demons, even though they're not, you know, traditionally classified as demons.
They're not technically by demons, but you know
They're
what
not
they,
technically
you know
demons,
what they
but
mean.
Yeah, they call them demons. Yeah. Like, they would definitely regard this fucking great shadow witch as a demon.
Emerging from a mass of eyes, tentacles, and teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Juno, please look in the chat and read Dad Shy Guy's most recent post in the grunty voice.
Hold on, what did it say? I don't have Twitch open.
Oh, I'll send it to you. Hold on, I'll just Discord PM it. Hold on.
Okay, hold on.
This is-
Send it to me and I'll read it in the
Highly
voice.
important, okay?
It's highly important that you
Please,
read this.
please. Put it in the in-call. I'm gonna read it out loud for the
Yes,
chat.
yes, here we go. Hold on, I'm going to the in-call. Yes, here we go.
Welcome aboard the Grunty Express. We ignore speed limits, so hold on to your dress.
Oh, man.
That's fucking perfect.
Oh.
Grimdark sushi, says Gimmick. Okay, oh, Martha just made a big post. Okay, so this was a dumb concept that popped in my head. It popped in my head just because the whole feminine magic. What if dark magic, arcane magic put a burden on the body that would make them unable to produce offspring, or if they could, it's so monstrous corruption or changelings. That could also be why witches replaces children with changelings to kidnap and corrupt new children into witches? Ooh, question mark. Even if it's not true, it sounds like something propaganda-wise that the church would say. Kind of dumb, but it popped in my head. Like, I think that's not dumb. I think that's cool. Yeah, even if it's not true, it makes sense. Even if it's just from a propaganda story standpoint, why some people would believe that.
And I mean, like, even if changelings are fae, that would be the reason why witches are always looking for apprentices, trying to steal away your good daughters.
Mm-hmm.
They can't have them of their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the good witches are totally okay.
Yes.
Like, totally.
The bright seers.
But we still don't want them living too close to us.
Oh, the bright seers are still definitely like fucking discriminated against by everyone except for the order. Because I guess people still see witches as witches. Like, there's like, what do you mean that people are different and come in different types? No, they're all the same. They're evil.
Also, shut up. That wasn't a dumb idea or concept.
Yeah, no, it was great. Be proud of yourself. You have cool ideas.
Stop bullying yourself or I'll beat you up.
Yeah. Like, those who practice dark magic are doomed to create dark spawns, such as changelings / witches. Yeah, I think that's a cool idea. I don't know. I think, to me at least, it makes sense that practicing dark magic would make you infertile. I couldn't explain 100% why. I just think that just makes sense to me. And also because if you look at hags, like, they get real fucking fucked up looking. Like, dark magic, like, changes you. It, like, warps you the more you use it.
Each spell you use, one egg disappears from your ovary. Kidding.
Well, I might not, it's like you essentially, if you use it more, you essentially become inhuman.
So,
But you have to not be dumb.
So if divine magic draws power from gods and saints, and if druidic magic draws power from nature, arcane magic, where does that power come from? Could it be like blood magic or something like that?
I think blood magic is definitely a part of it, but like it is a good question. Because also, I
feel like it would come from like the very essence of chaos itself. Like, since it's so focused on change.
Oh yeah, sorry. Hopping back to topic, what Marathi just says, like, I mean, everyone else is using some form of conduit, divine or nature itself, but like witches and arcanists are using their bodies as direct magical conduits. Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say, but you said it way better.
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, I mean, I think definitely blood definitely comes into it. And also, you think about werewolves and just like lycanthropes in general, like the moon has influence in a lot of stories too. Like, I mean, like, so many Grimm's tales are like, don't be out after dark. Well, one, because, shit's out in dark, but, like, why? Why? If we really dive into, like, kind of the more, obscure occult aspects of the world, like, why is the dark regarded as dangerous, aside from just being a place where things come out? But why are they out? Maybe it's a mix of a bunch of things, which could tie back to chaos. It's like, and that there are strong, and, like, it may not be one specific source. It might come from just kind of chaos. But it is indeed a conduit through your own personal body. And there are different ways to do it, though. There could be blood or, otherwise. Maybe some people get their power from the moon, like from, or just from the cosmos, the stars, stuff like that, Magic is just a big nope in this world. Either you have strong magic and make evil babies, or you have normal magic that's as reliable as lit dynamite. Yeah, fair.
Hey guys, check out this magic trick I learned.
What if, like, on the full moon, witches are out and using it for rituals and channeling bigger magic, but on, like, new moons, not even the witches dare be out because of what lurks when its magic goes away? Ooh. I mean, that's true. Like, I like the concept that, like, a night with no moon, when the new moon's out, is feared universally.
Out there. Stars, no moon.
Mm-hmm. This has me thinking a lot. Well, because then you also think about, like, the Bright Seers, the good witches, you know, their name has bright in it, and like
They could be
moon, sun, like
maybe they could be the ones that use astral magic.
I think they definitely. I mean, I don't think they're limited to one form of magic. They are just the good versions. However, they will definitely not use certain magics, for sure. But I don't think they're exclusively astral. I don't think arcane magic is exclusive anything. It just it can be pulled from different sources, but like by and large, it's kind of used in different ways. Party tricks has a whole different meaning in this world. Yes. Party wipe tricks.
And for my next trick,
Yes.
I'm gonna make 3 skulls appear in my hand.
I put a rabbit in this hat, and now it's a demon.
Hat reaches into hat. It'd be like arcanists could, like, if they're careful, they can like pull magic from other sources in order to like fuel their arcaneness. But like, and like the blood and through the body and through like the cells and DNA and everything.
Yeah.
Is like a kind of a last resort.
People use sacrifices, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the witches who are like kind of the quote unquote the hags and the bad witches, like they kind of do that more often than like you take the moon and you take the sun and all that kind of stuff.
I like that. I'm looking at a list of Grim Storytales right now, just trying to see if anything else pops up that I think is interesting.
The number 1 rule of learning magic: don't be stupid.
Yes, basically. I'm thinking, like, are there like?
I love the star cloak. That was my.
What do you think? Like, not that like all evil witches are like unified, you know, but like, what like is like? Because I'm thinking like in just like in you know in Blair Witch, you know, like that fucking like stick figure symbol that they have. What kind of symbol do you think, like ritualistic symbols, do you think evil witches would use to exemplify or specifically, you know, show off?
Maybe like runes from the old ones.
I
don't know.
Runes are cool. Something with runes and bones, I would think.
Hell yeah.
Gotta love those bones.
Bone juice. What?
Which is Bright Seers. I feel like evil witches fall more in line with like the, you know, like, you know, I think like how do I phrase this? The more kind of like, you know, like grinding up a bird corpse and newborn infant blood in a bowl with a mortar and pestle and like smearing it on an altar kind of thing, whereas a Bright Seer practices is more in line with like you know, divining and
scrying bowls and
scrying crystals and like cards of fate, stuff like that. Yeah. What if evil witches are cannibals and eat the magical potential of people / children? Ooh. Juno?
That's why I sighed the first time, for the record. Exactly that. Now you understand.
Time to cook the children.
God, our new viewer will leave. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Also, hi, Gimmick. Thanks for sticking around.
Yes, thank you for sticking around. We're happy to have you. Glad you're enjoying the show. Yeah. I love this aesthetic of the first witch here. She cool. She cute looking. And then she had a shitty daughter who murdered the other one.
Yeah. And then became some kind of Shuggoth.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, every Thursday, am I right?
Oof.
I need to look up like some traditional Russian embroidery if I'm going with the Vasilisa route, because that shit's cool.
It is cool. You know, it's 9:40. Let's go on a break. And then we'll be back in like a couple minutes. And maybe we'll talk about like the world and maybe like sketch out a rudimentary map or something. Who knows? Let's we'll go on break, so we'll be back in a couple minutes. So stay tuned. Oh my God, Atwas, I didn't say stay tuned. It's not that stream.
You fool!
All right, we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Sorry that took longer than expected, but we'll get back to it. Yeah, guys, we've had like a lot of pretty cool shit, if I do say so myself. I think if y'all want to give it a go, let's see if we can dip our toe into getting like a rudimentary kind of like map going on of like what the hell this world looks like.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna save this real quick.
Hell yeah.
Oops. Goodbye, OG Witch.
I'm sorry. Before you delete, I was gonna comment on that. When you deleted the line work, it was just the colors left. The
That looks
little
pretty
red,
cool.
the little red dots. Yeah, there it is. She looks like she's kind of like perturbed or surprised by the pink fire. Like the little dots are her eyes, and the thin line of her mouth right there. She looks like, oh fuck, yeah.
Oh no.
That's exactly what I saw. That was funny to me.
All right.
Okay. So, when thinking of drawing shit for this, gotta think about the avoiding fantasy tropes. Like, we don't want this to be like an analog of actual Germany or Europe.
Cuba.
There, we're done.
What kind of
We're done. That's it. It's Cuba.
well, what kind of climate are you thinking?
Bahamas.
Like,
Yes. I thought you said Obamas. I'm like, nope. Okay.
God, I wish. Anyway.
No, the Bahamas.
Yes.
The Bahamas.
The Bahamas. Yes. Climate-wise, I mean, yeah, very similar to Germany, but like, you mean you have forest, you have swamps, you have mountains. There's varied terrain, and climate is, I'd say, it's kind of uniformly gloomy, but also, you know, there is sunshine.
Nice and temperate.
Yeah, exactly.
Has 4 seasons.
Has 4 seasons, 100%.
Do you want there to be any sort of ocean type stuff?
It's a good question.
Like, it could be landlocked. It could have rocky shores, or instead of beaches,
Oh, interesting.
sheer cliffs, like sort of
What is the chat
of
thing on
England
this one?
cliffs.
Yeah. What's the chat
that-
thing on this one? I
Apology of our world.
yeah. Let's
Still make everything a mimic. The entire continent is a mimic. Like the entire, this is the landmass, and this is like the mouth.
Oh no.
The land, the entire land is a mimic. There is nothing in this land that is not a
It
mimic.
just lives on the back of a Tarrasque. Easy. Done.
Well, one thing about the shape too is also like, what is next to this? Like, are there other like cultural, like, I mean, like, for the record, when I'm saying like this map, it's like it's not like I've been referencing Germany. It's not like we're in one specific country that is, you know, split up into all these 5 times. Like, there can be different countries. They're all just kind of like thematically of this region, have this Germanic influence. Is it like exclusively Grimm stuff? It takes the most inspiration from Grimm stuff, but I mean, obviously I'm including stuff that is not. So I mean, like, I'm open to other things being in there.
So are you interested in having
Like we have some Russian
faraway-
influence from
Hell yeah.
The area could
Um,
take place in the middle of a massive mountain range, as that would give the area a constant era of gloom from the lack of sunlight. This is Barovia.
Good fog. Sorry, are you interested in having like different continents so you can have like far travelers from like strange cultures that maybe
I'm
show
not-
up every once in a while? Or
I'm not opposed to it. I mean, like, I'm honestly fine with whatever. I think it could go either way.
Alright, I'm gonna close my eyes. I'm gonna scribble out I'm gonna scribble out some lines and see if we can make a
Yeah.
continental landmass
Do
out
it.
of that.
The other thing is how do you want it more compact? Do you want it more spread out?
I think
Like
more.
how long do you think it would take to travel between?
Well, I definitely think it's more spread out, but you know, and there are
Easier
definitely
pass
like
beyond that real quick.
vast tracts of wilderness,
Uh-huh.
probably huge tracts of land. I was avoiding it until you started goading me. I'm like, fuck. I think, I mean, like, and just like, if you live in a world, we live in a society. If you live in a world where there are fucking monsters and evil things that can kill you 6 ways to Sunday, like, you're not gonna want to have to like camp out on the roads a lot. Civilizations would probably be built pretty close together. I mean, that makes sense to me. And then for like longer journeys, for like, you know, crossing areas, you'd probably either it's a coin toss, or you have to hire like fucking people to like basically guard your shit like as you're going through to make sure you don't get completely destroyed. Which, you know, you could maybe some people hire hire grimmers or kriegers to guard their caravans and shit on bigger journeys. And that's also a way for, you know, chroniclers would probably be involved there as well, because then they would be able to get information from other merchants and caravanners to learn things like that. But in terms of like distance, towns and open fields so they can see monsters approaching. Oh yeah, it's very true. Yeah, that would make sense.
Like
Like,
adventure without
Hard
towns.
to have towns without water nearby, though.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So like
Like-
we got a lake here, got the ocean over here. So obviously, water sources usually starting up in the mountains. So probably
Yeah.
like dotting this range of mountains, there'd be a series of villages.
Yeah. I love maps.
Yeah.
I love fantasy maps that don't show the entire world. I like seeing, like, the mapped, like, you know, the known world from the perspective of that culture. It's because that you know, because I don't want to see the whole picture. I kind of like, kind of like being zoomed in on the region that matters for kind of the setting.
Given the sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So given the geography, like this area would most likely be desert, because of the way like the wind would blow in from the sea, and like the mountain range would like block off the clouds, and like all the rainfall would happen on the mountains and cause all these rivers to form. Relatively dry.
Maybe still cold though.
Mhm.
Like a more like
Maybe more like
steppe
arid
type thing.
Yeah. Arid steppe, kind of dry, grassy plateaus.
Taiga.
Yeah.
Like a taiga, yeah. Since it looks like this is a pretty north-looking kind of place.
Yeah.
Fits with those dark
Comparison
prime
to like
aesthetics, you
general,
know?
kind of like the general same kind of areas like other further northward areas in Western Europe.
Yeah.
Make a few plateaus up there. And like obviously because there's more sea over this way, like this area would be probably a little bit more fertile.
Yeah. And that's probably like a largely inhabited region too.
Yeah.
Well, I say largely inhabited, like the more, you know, the farther away you get from the coast is where things spread out a bit more, probably. You know?
Yeah, so probably like this area would probably be like in this peninsula over here would probably be the most populated.
Oh yeah, probably. And that's probably like, given its location, that's probably where a predominant amount of the Iron Faith is located. Get out, Miss Swamp.
Good.
What are you doing?
Oh Jesus.
So probably a place like the Church of the Iron Faith here.
I would think that the Order Academy is probably located, if not like in like the woods, in the mountains.
In the mountains, probably like up here, maybe.
Maybe not that far. Maybe closer to this midland region, like.
So like here.
Yeah, like it's.
In Garagmok Monastery from Fire Emblem 3. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Like that makes sense to me.
I mean, like real talk, that is where Garagmok is. Like it's in this kind of in the center of Fodlan.
Oh man.
Where it's like easy to, where it's like equidistant from the populated areas of the continent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they don't want to be like too rural, and they don't want to be like in the middle of an urban environment, and they also want to be removed enough from the Iron Faith as to not be far away from other civilizations.
There's the academy.
I love that. And then up here, you know, north of those mountains, that little that they kind of like cover off, like, what I mean, because you know a lot of like regions form from like, I feel like the only like concrete like quote unquote kingdoms, like the ones that are actually like, you know, marked territory, as opposed to just being kind of like, I mean, there's other territories, but you know, I mean like actual like borders, and not just like, oh yeah, this territory belongs to this city state. Probably exists here and where the Iron Faith is, and maybe down by this other peninsula towards the south. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, and it's like small because there's like a, yeah, I think Dark Forest being there is actually makes a lot of sense. And probably like, oh man, I don't know how to draw on this.
I feel like the Iron Faith would be pretty fortified.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely with iron in the name for sure.
Yeah, I guess that, putting like these castle walls around the cathedral.
Mm-hmm. That's what the chat's saying. Never mind, guys. Okay, yeah. Bye, Gimmick.
Thanks for tuning in.
Indeed. We always like new viewers. I think the more east you get is...
It would likely be colder if
Yeah.
this is over here is still ocean, and
Yeah.
like this is taiga and stuff. So this would be, like, a
let's
colder area.
defy fantasy. Let's defy fucking physical geography. It's colder to the east, and it's not colder to the north.
Well, I
cold.
mean, why would it have to be colder to the north?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just like so many worlds. It's like, oh yeah, it's colder in the north. Like, yeah, I like it being colder in the east.
Just pull a Tolkien and have west point up, you know?
Huh. Wait, is that really a thing? I did not know
Yeah,
that.
like all of Tolkien's maps, west is like the up direction.
That's
But
so
they-
weird.
But sailing into the west. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I'd have to double check, but I know
Yeah.
that like west is one of the up down axes.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Dark Forest. I mean, there's probably a lot of fucking Dark Forest in this place as well,
Oh,
like
yeah.
scattered all over the place. Like here, I'll even give my own little take at drawing some. Like there's probably some like all like up over here.
Forest over. Definitely, probably some coast towns nearby the rivers.
Yeah.
Like,
Probably some,
this
over
is a-
here.
This is a 16th to 17th century society. Like rivers are like
Yeah.
the big way of getting moving things around.
For sure. Which also makes this the academy, the Order's Hall kind of like a advantageous location because it's near so many rivers, that it allows their operatives to move to and from relatively quickly. Yeah, that's definitely probably a sea down there. All these civilizations.
Got a few port towns over here.
Yeah. You probably got like a little bit of dark foresty shit closer to the coast that is like avoided, and like, you know, it's one of those cases like if you want to get to the shit that's like in between, like past that, you have to go the long way around unless you're ballsy and want to go right through it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, around here would probably be more not as desirable. It's kind of farther away from water and stuff like that, so
Yeah.
maybe less populated there. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Also, the further you are from the woods, the safer you are. Hence why a lot of people don't, like, you know, that's why so many things are on the fringes here. And there's just a lot of, like, fucking, like, battlefields and shit. Because there's also probably, you know, old wars and shit that have been gone on here. So there's just, like, still fields of bodies out in the wilderness that were just never reclaimed afterwards.
Bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Yes, indeed.
That's a world battlefield, you say.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I moved my layer, so I didn't need to do that.
Hey, mommy.
Oh, man. Yeah, definitely colder in that direction. And then what's on this little, what's going on this little, peninsula, like, hold on, let me lower the size. Wait. Not that one, the one, like, over here. Oh, wow, not what I meant to do at all. The one that's in the bottom left corner.
Maybe there could be, like, an ancient stronghold there or something, sort of far removed. Maybe it's just
a giant Gruntilda-shaped crater.
Sexy.
Yep.
Parentheses. A Blightland would be cool, like one that's still oozing dark magic.
Oh, like that whole region down there is like a Blightland? Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
That's totally possible. And like... See. And like... So like maybe down there is like... I want to say like I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to think of the climate. I just can't think of the name for it. It's like it's not like, you know, desert, but it's like it would share the same climate, kind of. Like I can totally imagine there being like more like less evergreen trees in the Iron Faith region. Maybe this area has some in that bottom corner. Maybe it has like some more like, not like full tropical, but it's more like kind of like an arid coastal kind of vibe with some palm trees here and there.
And like very like new growth. Maybe it was clear cut sometimes.
Yeah.
So okay.
And like maybe there's like a settlement there, but like a small kind of like port city.
Yeah.
Port Nyanzaru.
Port right there. River,
Yes.
sea, yeah. Or like up here.
Every
Probably a
blade
smaller
of grass
port
is a mimic.
Oh god.
Can you imagine mimic babies that all just look like grass?
I hate it.
I don't think people have explored mimic babies enough as they should. Because it's a great concept for some horror. Like, imagine like a fountain, and there's a bunch of coins at the bottom, and someone reaches in to grab one, but then suddenly the little tiny coin has teeth and it starts nomming on you.
Oh no. And of course stuff can get scattered here, there, everywhere type deal.
Yeah.
Patron-like cult that was slowly taking over the world by replacing coins with controllable. Bold of you to assume that mimics can be controlled. Although having a pet mimic bag of holding would be tight.
Here's something to think about. A lot of places obviously base their civilization around water, and a lot of places are built around the coast. What if and we can talk about like more of the landlocked areas, like people who settle kind of in this region near the swamps, north of the new growth.
Mm-hmm.
But
Merchants probably.
What was that?
Merchants probably.
Probably, but also think about like going over to the Iron Faith. Like, what if their capital isn't near like the coast? Their capital is more towards like the fucking center of their territory, near rivers, obviously, but like it has no like coastal presence. And that's also
I'll move it over. Let's see what you think.
Yeah, that's also kind of like a no. I mean of that territory, the Iron Faith's territory being where it was. That's what I was commenting on. Like I don't think the Iron Faith is like as predominant. Like it's like not like it's limited to that one region, but I feel like it's mostly predominant in that like large peninsula. Like I think that like like I can imagine a city that's ringed by walls that has like it's like really well fortified. Because I bet the Iron Faith, being Crusaders, are also sometimes paranoid as shit.
How about like
evil.
having like walls that cut this place off, kind of like the Hadrian Wall type deal?
Mm-hmm.
So sort
Ooh.
of cut off the peninsula.
I like that a lot.
The Great Iron Barrier, the Great Iron Wall. Insert Iron Curtain here, joke here.
The Iron I was about to say.
The Iron Wall.
The big steel drapes.
And maybe it's not the most convenient place to live, but it is safer than everywhere else, and so people do tend to go there, even if it maybe is difficult. So I don't know, there'd probably be like a fairly robust road system, because you'd only want to maintain like one safe area.
Yeah.
Maybe it could actually be like a job, sort of like have like a lamplighter, like road maintenance type jobs, where like every few miles you have like a lamplighter shack, and they're responsible for that stretch of road and keeping it safe and maintained.
I like that. I like that. That's cool. That's fucking dope, dude.
Just indicated those lamplighter shacks on the
and like
along the wall.
This Rocky Cliffs region we got up here near the Dark Forest. Do we think there's civilization there, or is it mostly the civilization-less, or is it more kind of like a frontier, kind of like just people set up there, and it's got a high mortality rate?
I mean, yeah, it could be kind of like a frontier area. I was just thinking like it wouldn't make. It's nice to have differences in elevations, because then it would make sense for the ports to be like down here as opposed to up there. Because this would be a choice port, but it'd be difficult to get to.
Exactly.
Maybe somebody's trying to set up and gain like a foothold up there.
Maybe there is some sort of. Actually, what would be very interesting is, what if on the peninsula right up there? I don't know how this works. Like right up there on that tip, there's like a cliffside, this like promontory where there's like a structure built onto it. Whether it is like an actual settlement or just more of like kind of like a castle tower or whatever. What if that's kind of where the Bright Seers are based out of? Or maybe a monastery is there.
Very aesthetic. I like it.
Yeah, that's just built on the edge of this like cliff, like jutting out. And like either one of those would be pretty cool. Because the Bright Seers don't necessarily have to be based. They don't necessarily have to be, based. I think our playlist has changed the aesthetic. I'm gonna have to change that back. They don't necessarily have to be living with the Order, you know? They could very well have their own base, but they also, you know, work with the Order as well. So, they, you know, but also that would be a cool monastery location. It really would be. Ugh. So many possibilities.
Goodbye. Welcome back.
Yes. I was changing the playlist. Other monasteries would probably exist in a mix between, like, populated areas and, like, really rural areas, too. Like, if we're talking, like, evil monastery, those Blighted Lands are probably a really good candidate.
I'm gonna make the evil monastery, like, kind of crooked and everything.
Yes.
Cool aesthetic.
And you would probably have some crazy people trying to settle up on the taiga or whatever. Humans are weird, yo. But it's also...
Well, the Yeti lives...
Ah, true. You're right.
Oh, they're making friends with the Yetis and everything.
Hell yeah, and you can see other monsters coming from, like, miles away. Perfect.
Yeah.
The Yetis stand guard. They're paid, of course.
In what?
Pain.
With all these Yeti movies coming out lately.
Gosh, you fucking... Yeah, what the fuck is up with that?
Yeah, like, Abominable is about to come out, like, tomorrow. No, today. It's out today.
Oh.
Nice.
Nice.
Abominable's really cool, though, because, like, it takes place in, like, I think, China?
I haven't seen anything for the movie, so I don't actually know.
I don't know if it's China or Tibet. I didn't get a good look at, like, the trailers and everything. Okay.
Or they travel to Tibet or something like that.
Probably. It's probably most likely that, like, because I think the whole story is about, like, a Yeti that was displaced from its home, which is probably Tibet.
Most likely.
That makes sense.
I'm excited to see the movie because I haven't seen a good movie in a while, actually.
Ooh, how about, like, an island? Maybe a small island. Maybe not everyone knows that it exists.
Oh, yeah.
Be like a hideaway for, like, the outcasts.
Some weird shit living there. Or maybe there isn't, and people just want other people to think there's weird shit living there.
Pirates buried their treasure. If there are even pirates anymore. Anyways.
I'll put some lakes up in the mountains, because lakes tend to be up there.
I'm looking at the chat now. Anything in the chat? I have not looked at the chat in a while. The swamps got groovy.
Okay, I'm gonna fix these towers because I don't want them to look phallic.
Ha! Too late.
I wasn't gonna say it.
The
But if
Yetis
you
could
will.
be paid in large slabs of meat and housings. They would probably prefer personal
Slavery.
over monetary gain. Yes, slavery. Paid in slavery.
Thinking the taiga could have
Their
like one
own
of those
meat.
really meandering rivers. I don't know.
That they don't let their livelihoods be dictated by the people who are in their employ. Like, to an extent, of course. I mean, they're getting paid, but like, I don't know. This is assuming that like the things. Like,
Yeah.
and which probably won't.
Oh,
I mean,
doing,
it'd be cool.
yeah, I'm doing a lot of staring at the map and not saying anything because I'm getting so wrapped up in maps because maps are fucking cool, man.
Should look a little bit less like penises now.
Yes, there we go.
Maybe I just said that out loud on Twitch, but a lot of you all drop the F-bomb on the on everybody often.
Yeah, you're fine. We say the V word a lot, so it's fine.
I changed my mind. It wouldn't be a swamp there because that's the drier area. I was a fool.
Yeah, what have you done?
It's okay, I got rid of it. It's now just maybe like very small, maybe like a murky type, very deep like loch or lake or whatever. I don't know.
A loch.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to. I mean, I there's a great little quote. I can't remember who said this, but it was, "Good DMs borrow, great DMs steal." And I'm looking at the Iron Faith drawing over there, and I'm just like, I really, really want to use an iron wheel symbolism, and that is directly from my favorite fantasy novel.
I mean, I definitely stole the Saints idea from someone else. So
Yeah.
Whatever.
Like I said, good DMs borrow, great DMs steal.
No, I
Nothing
freaking
is
stole
original.
the center academy thing from Garrick Mock.
Hell yeah.
In Last First Throne, I also
Mhm.
directly pulled enemies from 3 houses.
Oh yeah. A lot of bad shit happens in that swamp, I bet you. But there's probably a couple of like swamp towns, you know, the kind of towns that are built on like stilts and things.
Yep.
You know, like the
Yeah.
adjacent.
Mhm.
There's a waterfall there. I don't make the rules.
I'd imagine the swamp area would be like the big trading center because of the 2 rivers that go up and down.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like a swamp would be kind of like. I mean, yeah, it's a good trading location, but I also think it's like, who the fuck would want to go there?
Yeah.
I feel like
if you wanted to live there,
I know, but I think a cultural thing would be like, sure, it's that sense of, sure, this is convenient, but it's gross, so we're gonna do this the hard way for comfort.
yeah, love building like their elevated cities over the marshland,
yeah, exactly.
and like elevated platforms over this way. Farms, they're probably farms, right? They have to grow their own food somewhere, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
The
Also,
land, I guess.
yeah. Also, side idea. In terms of monasteries, this big old iron wall we got at the edge of the Iron Faith area. What if there's actually a monastery built into that wall at one point? And that's more of a.
Man,
That's
that'd be sick. And their like whole point is to like keep guard and keep watch.
like a
over-
vigilance kind of like this. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
the lamplighters are an extension of them.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
And they are
coming in there like,
they are
your mother is a hamster.
yeah. They are an order that's definitely aligned more with the Iron Faith, in belief, and to that end, they are also now serving a pretty, unique purpose of acting as the lamplighters kind of thing. That's awesome. That waterfall's dope. Good waterfall.
It's just gotta be one. It's the rules.
And it's just like, you just got this big old fucking building just jutting out of the top of this wall on one side. That's their monastery. That's so cool.
I really like drawing rivers. Some fantasy maps really irk me with their rivers where they branch out, because all the small rivers go into the big river and then it flows downhill unless you get like a delta situation, which is kind of what was going on over there. Rivers, man, how do they work?
Rivers, I don't know how rivers work. Rivers are just like ephemeral things. Rivers are alive. The river is a mimic.
Oh no, we can never escape. I'm gonna say down here is probably also.
Yeah, I agree with what that Shy Guy
alright.
said down here, is that living in the swamp would probably be an acquired lifestyle. Certainly profitable, but only inhabited by the greedy and the brave.
Just fucking weirdos.
Yeah, precisely.
Ah, yes, the merchant town of Big Dick Energy.
Yes. Welcome to compensation. I don't know why, but I was just like, Compensation, Wyoming. It just sounds like a town to me.
Compensation, Arizona, because Arizona's got those weird fucking town names.
Fair.
Sounds like a Midwest kind of name.
Yeah.
like a fucking fried egg or whatever, something like that. I don't know. Tortilla Flat is a town in Arizona, which I learned about the other day. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's just Tortilla Flat. Like I sure hope it is.
Arizona. Does it even exist? Who knows?
Yes, it's the other states that we don't know about.
Oh man, guys, we got a lot of good stuff going on here. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we talked about like a lot of things thus far, and we still got like time on our stream. But like one thing that we should start putting thought into, and I think we should definitely like have this be, one thing we definitely figure out for by the stream is the name of this setting, of this region, whether not specifically the name of the country, could be the name of the world, or it could be the name of the setting. And I'm the chat can also participate in that.
I'm not good at naming things.
Yeah, I will be thinking of someone my own, but please let's keep to the Germanic theme as well.
Imagine how scary a river mimic would be. Go for a swim. The water itself starts pulling you under. Isn't that just what are they called? It's not. Is it Selkies that are the river horses that are just
No,
terrible?
Selkies are the seal people. Kelpies are the river.
Kelpies, thank
Kelpies,
you.
yes, there he is.
Selkies are okay. Kelpies are not.
Yes.
Actually, kind of nice. Steal their stuff because it's kind of gross and bad.
I was like,
Stole your
ooh.
skin. You live with me now.
I was like about to say like, what's the German word for, dark? It's gonna like maybe we include the word dark in there. The fucking German word for dark is dunkel.
I'll be right back. I gotta wash my hands.
I'm trying to think of like German sounding things. Like ich and ish.
Yeah.
And that sort of ending. A lot of like strong consonants like a D
Welcome to
and-
Dunkelland.
God, you're
Yeah.
fired.
I know.
Sorry. You're cancelled.
I mean, I know the German word for iron is Eisen. So like, I well, and that's not for a world name. Like, I can definitely, I'm like, that might apply to the region where the fucking Iron Faith is located. Might have something with the word Eisen in it somewhere. Like, yeah, like Eisenreich or something like that.
Eisenreich or Richt or whatever.
Yeah, Eisenreich. That is either a city or the place. But the world. Dunkelstamm.
Okay, I'm back.
Ah, the
Welcome
Eisenreich.
back.
The Eisenreich. Ooh, actually,
Far out name.
that's a cool name for a body of water. It's just the Eisenreich. If that specific sea is referred to as that, like is referred to as the Eisenreich.
I was just looking for like an open space to write, but hell yeah.
On a Google Translate, looking for Google.com.
Yes, I'm looking at Google Translate as well right now. Someone said look up the word for eclipse. Finsternis. Interesting.
I have an idea for the taiga for like the colder regions.
Mm-hmm. What's your idea?
Looked, hold up. Let me hear how to pronounce it. Kristallbein.
Oh.
Hold on, Kristallbein. Basically, it means crystal plane. That's what I punched into the Google Translate.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, here's how it's spelled. 1 second. A new layer so that I'm not like over everything, and then we have to change or something, and then oops.
Actually, it's you know what? I actually looked up C in German, as well. The Eisenricht, I like that too, but also there's also Eisenmeer, which is also pretty cool too. The Dusterland. Oh yeah.
Duster translates to gloomy, dark, somber, dismal, dim.
And that kind of is that.
I'm just writing in a place.
Yeah. Yeah. The Crystal Bang. Oh, I like that, the Crystal Bang. Dusterland. I like the word Dusterland. So, like, gloomy land. Could that refer to?
I was just thinking of like the whole entire like area.
The entire region. This is the realm of Dusterland. Ooh.
Yeah. Or the Dusterlands. I don't fucking know.
Oh, the Dusterlands.
But like land is land, Deutschland, you know, that sort of. So.
What about
called up?
I mean, in addition to meaning kingdom and empire, Reich does mean realm or domain. It could also be the Dusterreich.
Yeah, I like Dusterreich better.
Juno, write Dusterreich in, like, a cool font.
Of Dunkel, first of all, because that's a dumb name.
Dunkelland. Oh yeah, welcome to Dunkelland.
The Dunkelland!
We could call it the Grimlands, but I feel like that's on the nose. I mean, like, literally, the Grimland is not a far cry from what Dunkelreich would translate to. Dark Eclipse, one says. Dunkelfinsternis.
We're gonna avoid dark because it says Dunkel.
Dunkel.
And to the rest of us English speakers, that sounds kind of silly.
Graustadt?
What was that?
Hold on. Fuck, my push to talk. Sorry, hold on. So, Grau is like, kind of... Wow, things are really not wanting to load for me, I guess. What?
You okay there?
Grau would be like dark,
Mm-hmm.
drab, ashen, gloomy, grizzled, etc. And then Stadt is like state, country.
Yeah. Ooh.
Type.
Oh, yeah, I like that too. Can you write that one out?
Like
Okay, you did it. Graustadt.
It's there.
Yeah, I was blind.
It's fine, I don't have eyes either.
I know. The Graustadt. We got so many good names. I love naming things. What does Aschkloster mean?
The Ash Monastery.
Oh, the Aschkloster. Sound more like ass cluster.
That's the derogatory name that people call it in all the other play kidding.
Shout outs to all the Dunkel Seamus mains. Seamus, not Seamus. The Hexenlander, someone says, the Witchlands. Every fantasy setting, including all of mine, I'm not innocent of this, has a place called the Witchlands.
Cursor doesn't have Witchlands.
Well, thanks.
I'm kidding. I'm not flexing. There's an academy, but like there's no Witchlands.
The Wichtwald.
Their Wicht is like goblin, imp, gnome,
Oh.
brownie type thing in Valdis Forest.
The
So like,
Wichtwald.
yeah.
I like that too.
Hmm.
That's
I
cool
was
name.
gonna try and put like Koboldwald, but that I feel like it's a
Yeah.
little much because kobolds are, it's
Yeah,
association.
I get you.
This word means Iron Peninsula.
The Eisenhalblinsen. Is that what that says? Oh wait, what? No. No, I misread that. I can't read that.
Eisenhalbinsel.
Eisenhalbinsel. Ooh,
Yes, that means the Iron Peninsula.
That's cool.
Nebligen, which is German for foggy.
that's cool. Oh, yeah, Nebligen is a cool word. I like that too. Isn't language fun? What other words can I think of? The German word for slaughter is big surprise. It's Schlachten. Schlachten. You could call it the Schlachtenwald.
It's surprising how little of our language, how like much of our language comes from both Latin and German.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
Languages are fun.
Understand nobody. This is what we get for being. This is what we get for being colonized by.
Chernalius.
What does that mean?
Russian. That literally means like Black Forest, but Chernalius sounds cool, I guess. I don't know.
What is black in German? Schwarz.
Schwarzwald.
The Schwarzwald. That sounds like something. The Schwarzwald. I'm trying to think of what though.
I feel like all of these things that are named after like darkness and
Yeah.
gloominess and stuff are like they're all names given to them by like outsiders who
Oh,
wish
yeah.
for things.
Oh,
Because
most
like
definitely.
nobody's like, oh, the dark world of death and destruction. Like nobody's gonna call their own land that.
I don't know. Goblin Forest will work.
Yeah. Could be
Goblin.
called- Yeah.
Is there goblin core in this world?
Yes.
Yes. Undoubtedly.
Probably not. actually.
Ashcluster probably makes sense because like maybe because of the stones that they used to build it, and they're maybe like dark gray.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they called it that. And then
Mhm.
like it just kind of became known as the Ashen Monastery because like the dankness that went on there.
Yeah. Oh, so dank, guys. So dank. What is? I'm trying to think. That's one word. It is the German word for frontier is the Grenze. Is Grenze. The I got something on the tip of my tongue. Hold on. The German word for frontier is not frontier, sorry. For homeland is Heimat. Maybe we can do something with that too.
Keep want to like suggest Russian things, but you guys would just not be able to pronounce.
Fair.
So there's no point like
Pronounce
just
them.
wrong phonemes like tma or ting.
I'm probably mispronouncing all of this German. Sim is probably shaking her head in disgust right now. Disgust at all of us right now.
I don't think you're too bad at the German actually.
Well, I'm trying my best.
Yeah. And luckily German doesn't have too many phonemes that like don't exist in English, so lucky for us.
I took had a friend who took Russian in college. She said that she was in pain for a lot of it.
Well, it's like the difference between "e" and "u."
Nope.
Some people just can't hear that, or "sh" and "sh."
I can hear it. I just don't want to try it.
Oh, let me tell you about like this one
Or, like,
vowel in
soft
Korean.
L's. Mm.
So this, okay, I'm about to hijack this map for a second here because I
Do
gotta
it.
illustrate this.
Say
So-
the shit.
This says
Mhm.
but this also says
And it.
The-
Okay.
They sound the same, but they're using different spellings.
Okay.
So like, the point of very much frustration in my days of learning Korean, because like, figure out how to spell words with like the ai or the I that like these are constructed of like the I and the E,
Mm-hmm.
the A and the E. But I'm never sure which one to use like ever. So it's just dumb.
And they are pronounced exactly the same. It's not like there's a tonal shift or something in the middle of the vowel.
Yeah.
Huh. Thanks, I hate it.
Korean is fun. And then sometimes there are like subtle differences between like this is the k sound consonant,
Mhm.
but like with like the g sound consonant, like if you put two of them together you get the g sound.
Yeah.
Differences between like similar sounding consonants, like you have like a hard k sound and like a g sound.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta click your tongue at the back of your throat and like pronouncing some of this stuff is. I mean, like I learned Korean at a young age, so like it's okay for me. I can pronounce
Yeah.
I can make the phonemes sound the way they're supposed to sound. I can see how it can be confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
like,
I
any
only speak
adjacent
English.
consonants suck. Sorry, Xander, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. I just said I only speak English.
Fine, brag
Yeah,
about it.
I
Fuck.
I don't do it well.
So,
I
k and g. No, that was too much of a at the end.
language learning with IR. And now for our next stream, we will just be doing 3 hours of Duolingo.
The Duolingo owl is standing at your front door, beating baseball bat into its wing. And you're like, do your Spanish lesson.
Okay.
Oh god, it's got a Glock. Oh no.
Like you missed one day of French. You know what that means.
One thing I do a lot when I'm making worlds is I'm whiplash topic. Is when I have a word, I will say it again and again to myself, and I'll see if it feels right. And I tell you guys, the Dusterreich feels pretty good for like a world name, for a setting name.
Hell yeah. That's how I
Okay,
do
nice.
character names. I like find something, then I like change vowels if it doesn't
Yeah.
feel right.
Most of my character names are like normal names, so I don't really have to do that. I mean, like, what's a more normal name than Jane? Plain Jane kind of name, like literally.
Joel.
Yes, quite literally.
I feel like I don't actually know many Janes in real life. I feel like that's an older quote unquote name.
I don't think I know a single Jane.
Yeah,
like Catherine or Rachel.
see them all over, and
I know a few Rachels. I definitely know a few Catherines where they go by
I know
Kates.
a couple of Catherines.
Yeah, same.
I know a Kate.
I know. There's so many. Oh wow, I know way too many Alexes.
Fuck ton of...
You are one.
I am.
Oh
one.
god.
And we work with another.
Yes, too many.
So I think this is a pretty good start to a map.
Yeah, I agree. I think we got a lot. We got a lot of good shit done today. And we can definitely want to revisit this at some point and like flesh out some more shit.
Yeah.
Go save those images that
with more
Juno
people, of course.
slapped.
Yes,
in
with more
streaming
people.
studio.
Absolutely,
Right.
please save that. It's a
Speaking
cool
of
map.
saving, I have saved the image. I have saved this image as well.
Heck yeah.
like 13 more minutes of uptime before we gotta like close out.
Dad Shy Guy says, small nickname for that bottom left peninsula could be Duversterben Halbinsel. Literally just, you will die peninsula.
You must die!
Du hast mich. It's just Rammstein everywhere. All right, yeah, I'm very content with what we got done today.
The nice switch or the ancient switch. There we go.
Ah, yes,
Hell yeah.
cool. We'll like put those on like the Patreon or something,
Like-
or wherever. I don't know.
I think our adventures our adventure adjacent things go.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
up
yeah,
on
yeah.
The Tumblr eventually.
Yes, on the Tumblr. That's a great idea. I don't know how this stuff works. I'm new. Alrighty, new to this. I'm not new to the channel, fucking obviously. I just got here, you guys. Cool. I'm
Probably the most recent.
Yeah, right.
Chi-Chi
Yeah.
and I actually.
Yeah. The Untergangslander is Doomlands.
The Doomland.
The Doomland. The Doomslayer.
All right.
God, I can't wait.
Oh, I'm so fucking ready for Doom Eternal. I'm so fucking ready. Alrighty. Well, you guys, this is a good place to close it out for the night. That was a fun little journey. Thank you, Atwas. Thank you, Juno. And
Welcome.
thank you, chat, for your lovely suggestions and shitpost memery. It is always appreciated, and you are valid.
I'm always here for jokes and memes.
And yes,
More
anyway.
grunty, would you just plain mean?
Don't forget the grunty sexy.
No,
Yes.
forget,
Sorry.
please.
I'll
Please.
make the rules
If
sweaty.
you see something, say nothing and drink to forget. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.